Welcome! Today we are diving deep into a really powerful spiritual concept, the idea of a sight that goes way beyond what our physical eyes can see. This explainer is based on a teaching from Apostle Joshua Selman, and it suggests that true vision isn't just a sense, but a gift that can literally shape your destiny.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack this idea of seeing without your eyes. Then we'll get into the serious risks of what's called spiritual blindness. After that, we'll explore the 4 channels through which this sight actually works. And finally, we'll look at the keys to activating this gift for yourself.
All right, let's start with the big idea, the foundation for everything else. True sight isn't really about your eyeballs, it's about receiving a spiritual gift.
Right off the bat, this teaching challenges how we normally think about vision. It's asking you to consider a wild possibility, that your eyes could be working perfectly, 20/20 vision, but you could still be completely blind to where you're actually supposed to be going in life.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The teaching points to the story from the Bible. Notice the specific word choice. The blind man doesn't ask for his eyes to be opened or healed. He asks to receive sight. This little detail is used to make a huge point. Sight is something that can be given, something you can receive like a gift.
And that's really the heart of it, right? You can be looking but not seeing. This spiritual blindness is a lack of direction, a lack of insight. It means you're totally unaware of your true destiny, no matter how clearly you see the world right in front of you.
So, if that's the core idea, let's talk about the stakes. What's the real danger of lacking this kind of spiritual vision? What's the cost?
The speaker uses this brilliant analogy to paint the picture. Being spiritually blind is like having perfectly good legs, but being blindfolded. You're moving, sure, but that movement is just aimless wandering. It's risky. You could be running full speed straight toward a cliff. And the ultimate risk of walking around blindfolded is that you'll wander off what the teaching calls your prophetic blueprint. Think of it as the unique, divinely designed map for your life. Without sight, you could end up miles off course and not even know it.
And the consequences are pretty severe. It's not just about you getting lost. If you're a leader, a parent, a guide of any kind, your lack of sight can accidentally lead everyone who trusts and follows you down the wrong path too. This quote just nails it. You can be the most sincere, hardworking, well-intentioned person in the world. But according to this teaching, that's not enough. Without spiritual sight, all that sincere effort could still lead you to completely miss the point of your life.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. Let's pivot and talk about the solution. If someone actually receives this gift of sight, what does that look like? How does it actually show up in their life?
The speaker breaks it down into 4 main channels, 4 different ways this spiritual vision operates and activates different parts of your life.
First up, we have dreams and visions. This is presented as kind of like a direct download from the divine, a way to get instructions, warnings, even blueprints for your future, sometimes while you're not even awake.
The second channel is really cool because it's right inside you, your imagination and creativity. The idea is that when this faculty is spiritually activated, it becomes a wellspring of brilliant, game-changing ideas and solutions that other people just can't see.
And this leads to a pretty bold claim. The speaker argues that tapping into this divine creativity is the key to solving huge problems, creating massive value, and ultimately achieving prosperity. It's a really powerful idea.
The third channel is all about gaining profound insight from Scripture. We're not just talking about reading the words on the page. This is the ability to see behind the text, to uncover hidden layers of wisdom and life strategy that were right there all along.
And that brings us to the 4th and final channel, prophetic revelation. This is described as the ability to see what's coming, to discern people's hidden motives, and basically to navigate the complexities of life with a kind of supernatural advantage.
Okay, that all sounds incredible, right? Dreams, creativity, deep wisdom, foresight. But the big question is, how do you get it? How do you activate this gift? The teaching wraps up with 3 practical keys. First, there's consistent prayer, which is said to build up your spiritual muscle. Second is meditation, making quiet space to actually receive those divine ideas. And the third is something called impartation, which is the belief that this gift can actually be transferred to you from someone who's already walking in it.
And this really gets to the so what of it all. Why does this matter? Well, it all comes down to confidence. When you can see beyond what's right in front of you, when you've had a glimpse of the future, it builds this unshakable confidence. You can walk through a storm without panicking because you've already seen the sunshine on the other side.
And that brings us to the end. As we wrap this up, it really leaves us with a question to ponder. Whether you're thinking about your career, your relationships, or your personal journey, the core idea here is that a change in how you see can change your entire reality. So, what part of your life could use a new way of seeing?